YouTube, you already know. The Latin assassin himself tapping back in with what it do. Big Lou, NFC off two, baby. Got that little catchphrase going there, huh? Yeah, so, anyways, good morning, everybody out there. First time you're coming to the channel, be highly appreciated if you sub, like, share channel with your family, friends, folks, peoples, gente, buddies, pals, amigos, and like us Puertorriqueños, Boricuas, Ibaritos, Portorros, Ricans, Arse, Panas. Good morning, Yankees for life. Michael Mormile, what's going on, fellas? Yeah, I figured I'd come in and do a little live stream, man. You know what I mean? Keep it on. I keep it real with everybody, man. I ain't been feeling it lately the last, I don't know, week or so. I dropped a couple of shorts, but I haven't done no videos or lives, and I just, like I said, man, I just ain't feeling it lately. You know what I mean? Just different things I got going on, man, and just also too the new project that I'm on now. It's 100 miles of commuting every day. Plus, I use my car at work too, so that's another anywhere from like 15 to 25 miles of driving. So you're talking about nonstop, 8 hours of just straight driving in the car. You know what I mean? I get out once I get to work, get the paperwork, and then at the end of it, I turn the paperwork in, and then I might stop at a park or somewhere where I can let the two dogs out, let them use the bathroom, and then load back up, get back to work. So, it's nonstop driving in the car. So it's been taking a toll on me. As soon as I get off, I usually fall asleep like immediately. So that's why, one of the reasons why I haven't been making any videos lately. And it is what it is. But hopefully, we can get past that soon here. Nick M, what's going on? So, yeah, it's Friday, TGIF. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. So anyway, yeah, I'm currently on the commute to work right now. I start at 6 a.m. I start about 44 minutes. So I figured why not just go live now. I just got done watching Tommy Stig's show. I think he had two shows back to back, but I caught the ending of the second one. So I guess they were busting a lot of balls over there, and then he got real serious, and today's Good Friday, I believe. So he was, talking about the, what happened, what part of the day with Jesus and all that, and then he showed a little portion of a skit that his nephew was in. So, but I did say in the comment section, I put down, I don't remember the name of the movie, but it wasn't the Mel Gibson movie about Jesus. It was another one that was after it, and we went to go see that, man, and the place was packed. I mean, completely packed, the movie theater, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house at that part where he crucified. Very, very powerful movie and a very powerful moment in history. And how everybody talks about Jackie Robinson and Babe Ruth and Rocky Marciano and John Gotti and different names of males over the years of history. This Jesus has been talked about more than any of them. You know what I'm saying? His name will never. It don't matter what country you're at or where his name is known. You know what I'm saying? They know he's known, his story, everything. You know what I mean? Stop complaining, old man. Yeah, I heard that. I know. Usually that type of things don't bother me, man, but it's been getting me, man. It's all that driving. But like I said, a good thing is, they take care of my gas money. I need to get something straight today, though. If it's two routes a day, so each route takes roughly, it could be anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours a route. It just depends. You start working on paying, but I need to find out a little more details because we've heard like 2 or 3 different things. So I need to find out if it's if it's money per route or just overall. So I'll hopefully finding something out today about that today. But Hollywood though. But yeah, let me see. There's some things going on against UFC. Uh, his running backs. What's his first name? Pareda. Alex Pareda. The Brazilian dude. He's now the middleweight champion. He beat, knocked out last fight. Um, like 30 hours later, maybe from the last tap out again. Just a minute so I get out of this area. Back in. So again, I apologize for that. Safu, what's going on? Good morning. Michael Moore, good morning. Yeah, All right, I'm back. I think that should do it. I think I'm in the clear now. I believe out the woods now. It rained out of nowhere yesterday. Uh, it started raining, yeah, last night. I had to put some gas. I dealt with it last night instead of having to deal with it in the morning. You never know if you're rushing, you know what I mean? You'd rather just get that out the way. Anyways, so yeah, on the way to work here, I put on yesterday my mileage 172 miles to and from work, and then also the mileage while at work. You know what I mean? So, and then after this project's complete, same county but different city. These projects are like 6 to 8 weeks long. You know what I mean? So it's it's not too bad. Muggsy Siegel, what's going on? Happy Easter to all. Spend with your loved ones. When's Easter? Easter's this Sunday? Wow, I wasn't even aware of that. Wow, I thought it was more later in the week. Or later in the month, excuse me. That's a trip. I wasn't even aware of it. Is it really this weekend? Sunday. It's always Sunday. It is. Always Sunday. So yeah, we're on a very windy road right now. It's literally like literally a one lane. Literally one lane. But if a car comes on the other side going the opposite direction, you got to hug the shoulder, and then there's enough room for them to get by too. But it's just real thin. Most people don't like going this way. I don't have an issue with it, but most people that I know do not. They don't like it. They rather go through the traffic on the actual highway, freeway. I normally say freeway, but some people use the word highway or it just. So if it's an interstate, I call it a freeway usually, and then there's some highways, but it's more like roads that connect east and west usually, because the two major highways here are Interstate I-5 and 99, and those both run north and south. Those are the ones that connect pretty much the whole state of California with Oregon and Washington too. I believe it still continues up. And then going south, it takes you pretty much to San Diego, I believe. And then you got the east and west highways like 580, which is it's a major freeway. It goes to the valley. It hooks the valley and the Bay Area up together. So it's the common commuters out, you know what I mean? But I'm on Patterson Pass Road or something like that, or Patterson Pass Byway, Passway or something like that. So this pretty much connects the last city of the valley with the first city of the Bay Area, even though they're really considered, they really are both pretty much the same city. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is that they connect, where you don't have, they connect where you can take a road and get to both of them. Start at this one and get to that one, or if you're going the other way. So the city's called Livermore. People from here, from Livermore, and the reason I say here is because I'm already here in Livermore. They consider it to be the Bay Area, which really is not. If you're getting there, you're getting almost to the Bay Area. What I mean by that. If you guys on the East Coast don't know what that really means, I know you guys know what Oakland is because of the sports teams and some of the history of Oakland. They have. Damn, they ass speed bump. And San Francisco, so Oakland, California, it's the same county as Livermore, but Oakland is actually on the water. There's water that touches Oakland. Livermore is the beginning of that county, which is Alameda County, which there's no water, and it's more like the valley, you know. Even though it's part of the county that the Bay Area belongs to, Oakland. I guess you guys would have to be here to know what I'm really talking about when it comes to that. But and then also when you take a couple little quick turns, and then it also hooks you up with Livermore to Fremont on a Highway 84. So when it comes to those east or west highways, they're considered highways. They're usually roads. But they're called highways. So, you know, and then we don't have like state troopers like they do in other states. They're called California Highway Patrol. They're the ones that do the freeways and highways and stuff and the back roads. They're the ones that monitor it and make the stops, you know. So you got police, you got the local police, you know, whatever town you're in or city. Then you have the county sheriffs, and then you have the California Highway Patrol. You know, those are the main three. I send mine to you and Little Lou, Ben Davis. All right, we send ours back, and Little Lou Jr. So yeah, I brought him with me to work. You know, get this easy money, man. You know what I mean? So he don't have much responsibilities. You know, he's a youngster, 19 years old, no kids yet. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, either way, even if he had kids, I still would have brought, you know, but if he didn't have nothing going on, I always throw things at him, like, hey, you want to do this, you want to do that. But, you know, easy little living, not bad money for a youngster. You know what I mean? He's able, with this money we're making, he's able to, you know, save some money and put some money away, and he knows how to do that. You know what I mean? Chips, Michael Mormile, chips. What do you mean? Chips. You talking about the TV show chips, or are you talking about actual potato chips? I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So tomorrow also, yeah. So I said, like I was saying, I think there's some boxing this weekend. If not, though, there are some big fights coming up. Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Also, Devin Haney and Lomachenko. The Inoue and Bolton fight got canceled. One of them got injured during training camp. The motorcycle show Chips. Okay. Oh yeah, Chips. So you're saying that because I patrol. California Highway Patrol. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're California Highway Patrol. Poncharella and I can't think of the partner's name right now. But yeah, those are Chips Highway Patrol, California Highway Patrol. Yep, you're right. They were down like in LA area, I believe, if I remember correctly. They were down in the LA area, which is pretty big. They got a auto theft task force. They got two that they're involved with. They got one it's called Stancat. Yeah, I believe it's Stancat. Stanislaus County Auto Theft Task Force, which I had the pleasure and honor of being arrested by them the last time because I had a GTA, a stolen car. So that area, Stanislaus, which is Modesto, California, they're number one in the nation for stolen cars for a long time. So they set up shop there, and then they also have one in Orange County because Orange County is up two on the list. And so they had those two California Highway Patrol Auto Theft Task Force going on, and they work hand in hand with the local police department, you know, wherever they're at. In my case, it was Turlock, California, Modesto PD, Turlock PD, you know what I mean? So on like that, and then Orange County thing. But anyways, yeah, so I caught that little bullshit last time with them, through them, and went to prison on that. And like most of you guys know, this coming July, I'm pretty sure most of you guys know. I know you guys know I've been out for a while, a little good while. July makes 6 years though that I've been out. I haven't seen the inside of a prison cell, jail cell, a booking area, nothing. I've been handcuffed since I got out in 2017. I've been handcuffed twice, maybe 3 times. All 3 times were why they were searching me, doing their little, the normal routine. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say that. That's what it was. 3 times. One time I got put in the back of the car while they finished searching a bunch of other people that I didn't. What happened was I was walking. I seen somebody I knew. The car that he was riding in was broke down or ran out of gas, and it was in the road. So I helped them push it. Police come and then they jacked us up, and I was the first one that I was on parole at the time, so they cuffed me up, put me in the back of their patrol car, while they searched everybody else. You know what I mean? So that wasn't comfortable at all. It was pretty hot. I was sweating like crazy. That wasn't. But nonetheless, I didn't go to jail because I didn't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing nothing. And then a couple other times, similar situations, being stopped. Run your name. Well, they didn't have to even run my name. I tell them I'm on parole. You know what I'm saying? And they would search me. But anyways, now I can tell them no. You know what I mean? Can't search me. And of course they'll try to flip their little shit like, well, why can't I search you? What you got to hide? Nothing to hide, but you ain't searching me. You know what I mean? I didn't earn that back to tell you no. You're just so used to doing it your way, that you would say something. You know what I mean? And try to make it sound like I'm, holding back or I'm being sneaky about something. That's what they do. They don't like to be turned down. They want their authority, to be, basically, how would I say that? They want their authority to be acknowledged fully. To put it that way. You know what I mean? And you got to put these cops sometimes in their place, man. You know what I mean? Until you commit a crime, they work for you. I mean, if you're a tax-paying citizen, they work for you. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. They're a servant. They're a servant, public servant. You know what I mean? Going around saying, "Hey, public servant," like how some of these people do. That's just hella disrespectful, and it's just being done to try to get a rise out of them, hoping that they get manhandled, hopefully, so they can put a lawsuit in. That's all that shit's about. You know what I mean? Because you got these dudes that'll come out there, disrespect the cops big time, and then when somebody smacks them or knocks their camera and stuff down or stomps on their camera or grabs the camera and smash it on the floor, then they're picking up the phone calling the cops, and then now they're like, "Oh, I want to press charges," but earlier, they're calling them, pigs and peas and pigs in a blanket and all kinds of shit, which is coward shit in my book. You know what I mean? They got a job to do. If you got a job to do. That's the lifestyle you're into. You have a job to do. It's that old cat and mouse. Cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians type shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, those people, the First Amendment audit. It's not about the First Amendment audit, really. It's just about what I can get away with. What kind of language can I use, and and how can I put it across to these cops, which they call pigs, and all that stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. Or some of them, like I just was talking about, they want their authority to be fully acknowledged across the board by everybody, and hey, that they got a chip on their shoulder. They probably were bullied. That's what a lot of people will say. But they need to be put in their place a lot of times. Chaos, exotic candle, top of the morning, fam. Hey, good morning. Good to see you here. Appreciate you. Who's exotic candle? Yeah, that's cool to see you, man. Here, because I've been posting on my Instagram, that about the show, and you know what I mean. I don't always. So anybody that's new here, or anybody that's new here now and that's new later on, So I'm also on top of this channel here, I'm also part of a 3-man squad at the no-fly zone, the no-fly zone Ricans. I'm out of Northern California, and 2 brothers of mine out of New York. So we talk about all kinds of stuff there too. Usually old school stuff, music, movies, wrestling, all kinds of different stuff. And we give our perspectives from the East Coast, West Coast perspectives on things, and just shoot the shit over there. You know what I mean? We always do lives over there. There's a few little short short videos, a minute videos or something like that. But here I do pre-records, I do live streams, and then I drop shorts. And usually the shorts are usually with the dogs, with my 2XL bullies. I also show food, and then I do cars. You know what I mean? But as far as the content wise on the videos and on the pre-record videos and the live streams, I talk anything from, I do some collabing with other channels. I should be having Mikey D. Leonardo Jr. on again soon. Spoke to him yesterday. We got a couple plans on things, some boxing content. Also, that last video, I don't know if you guys checked it out. It's got Frankie the Chico, John Gotti Sr., and Sammy the Bull on the thumbnail. And basically it was like, what if, Frankie the Chico didn't get blown up? And do you believe the stories on when it comes to that, what Sammy the Bull said? And so if you guys don't know, Mikey D. Leonardo Jr. Is related to the Chicos by blood. I mean, they're a couple generations older than him, Frankie the Chico and all them, but he's related to them 2 sides of the family. So 2 brothers married 2 sisters. So it's the Fabianos and the Chicos. So he's doubled up on that family. And so he wants to come on and say some truths about Frankie the Chico's uncle. Well, actually, it'd be his cousin. And what he feels that are lies. And I put my I said my 2 cents and what I believe in that video about what I believe is false. And things like that. So we're gonna have him on for doing some of that, and then also some boxing content. But what I was getting back to with telling Kuz, Exotic Kennel, and whoever else is new here, and that's on now with me live, and then we'll watch it later. We do, like I said, collabing with other channels. Also, talk prison life experience stuff, prison reform. I spoke on a few different times. True crimes that are like in this area, my area from the Valley to the Bay Area. The last true crime story I gave was about a guy that I went to school with, who was wrapped up in child abuse, actually I'm not sure what all the charges were, but he got 15 years plus, actually no, I think it was 10 years and then plus a 15 to life sentence on that. The big huge shocker. If you guys don't seen it, go back, check out in the library of my channel. You'll see the 3 individuals on the thumbnail. They're in red jumpsuits, two white people and a black dude. So I went to school with the black dude, and I used to go to lunch with him and all that. And come to find out, he gets caught up in this case. And he's proclaimed his innocence all along. He's the only one that took it to trial. Everybody else took deals on the matter. So I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just saying that normally that's how people do it. You know what I mean? When they did something, no matter how extreme the charges are, or if they're being offered a deal, for say 10 years or 12 years, 15 years, and they're not willing to take that deal, people, will take it to trial. You know what I mean? Because it's supposed to be the burden is supposed to be on the defense. On the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty. And a lot of times in our system, that's not the case. You'll bring somebody to trial, and no body's ever been discovered, no murder weapons, and yet you still have somebody on trial for murder. And a lot of times it sticks. So again, like with prison reform, the judicial system needs to be reformed as well. You know what I mean? So we talk true crimes, prison stories. So I tell some of my things I've been through and seen, and why I done time in the joint. Also, I do a lot of sports videos: basketball, football, baseball, boxing. I also do videos, pro wrestling videos from like 1984 to like 1991, 1992. That's when I stopped watching it. Then I got back into watching it like in 96 or 97 when the NWO came out. And I only watched WCW. I didn't watch WWF at that time. And that was about, a year maybe of that. So I talk more old school stuff, a lot of Jim Crockett promotions, a lot of WWF from the 80s. And then also I talk American Bullies, XL American Bullies. I got 2 of them. And then I got a third. I got something in the works coming up here. Power move. I consider it a power move. And I'll explain all that when the time comes. I don't want to really speak too much about it now because for whatever reason, if it don't fall through, I don't want to look like a jackass. You feel me? So what Danny Story says. Danny Stories. Good morning, Danny. Your dog's a beautiful throat. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Let's see. What up, Chad? Big Lou, good morning. Yeah, good morning, Danny. Let's see. Big UFC tonight. Lou, you doing your picks? Yeah. Tonight on Friday or tomorrow night, Saturday? Gotta jump off. Shout out, no flies. Okay. I don't even think you're here. Lou, I have a female pit. She is 5 and small. Is that called an XL? No. So, well, I don't know what you consider small. So, how you consider it, Michael, is you gotta measure the height. So they call it the withers. So the withers is the withers is not the shoulder, but there's a piece of usually like on Daisy and she has like a piece of, it's like kind of like muscle, and that's the withers. So it sits up a little bit above the shoulder. And for a female, XL is 19 inches to 22 inches. She said she's a female. So technically Daisy's not even XL yet because she's only like 18 and a half inches. She's only 8 months old. She'll be 8 months old on the 8th. What's today, 6 or 7? So might as well say 8 months now. So she's like 18 and a half. Last time I measured her, she's 18 and a half inches from the withers. So another half an inch and she'll be full-fledged XL. You know what I mean? Yeah, the weight doesn't matter when it comes to that. So you have pocket, you got a standard, you got a classic. Sometimes some of the registries consider extreme, and then you got an XL. Sometimes you'll hear me say like Champson it should be a double XL. That's not a term that's really acknowledged as far as through the registries, ABKC, UKC, XLBC. There's a lot of different ones. The only 2 that my dogs are registered to, they're dual registered, ABKC and XLKC. ABKC, which stands for American Bully Kennel Club, and they have any type of dog that's a bulldog, Frenchie, any of the bulldogs. You got American, you got English, you got the Old English, you got like French, you got I'm pretty sure they do staffs and American Pit Bull Terriers. They do bull terriers like Spud McKenzie, and then you got the American Bully. You got the different categories. You got also probably Coos Exotic. Can probably speak to this too. Exotic is another category that's underneath the pocket, and I believe exotic. So they call them exotic, and they're basically like a designer breed. I want to say that exotic is the same as a micro. I could be wrong on that. So who's exotic kennel, if you can attest to that or not. So the pocket bullies are usually they have for the most part they have the faces like a XL, like Daisy has that face look usually, but they got really short legs and they're like I want to say they're like 13, 14 inches tall. I think it is, and that's considered a pocket. Then you got the standard, which is like 17 inches tall, 18 inches tall, and then the classic and the standard are the same when it comes to height. As the standards are thicker, a little more thicker than the classic. Classics are usually a little more thinner, and then the extremes are even thicker. They're really wide. They're basically a big XL body, wide on a shorter legs. You know what I mean? That's usually how that one goes. But me, I'm just a straight up XL guy, double XL. So double XL would be for a male would be 24 inches and taller, and a female would be 23 inches and taller. So my prediction for Champ is he's going to be like 24, 25 inches tall. Like I explained in the little pictures I dropped yesterday, I dropped 5 pictures, 2 pictures of these guys when they're babies, really small. And I explained that Champ's mom, in my opinion, is a game changer. No matter who she's bred with, all her sons are huge. The Wine Gill, what's going on? Good morning. Appreciate you stopping in. See what he says right here. I really appreciate you giving us this knowledge, information. Each one teach one. That's how it's supposed to be in this world too. All you in the room. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's how it's supposed to be, man. There's too many haters in this world, man. There's too many people. Like, one thing that gets me about this dog. Some people don't like to use the word game when I say the dog game, right? Big shout out to Raul from QBN Kennels out of Texas. He's real big on not using the words like game, hustle, things like that, which I totally get it, because at the end of the day, if it's a business, you don't want to mix business with what we call ghetto slang or street talk, or you know what I mean. So he doesn't even like to use the word game. I'm trying to train myself to not use certain words as well. It just doesn't mix. It doesn't translate well, in my opinion. So we'll use the word bully community, right? The bully community. You got a lot of people, getting involved, for the money, because it is good money. But the thing is that they fail to realize is that you're not going to make money. You're not going to start making money, until 4 or 5 years into this, something like that. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years into this. You figure you get dogs and they're puppies, especially when it comes to female, you got to let that female develop and mature, and that's usually, 20 to 24 months old, I like with me, for example, with Daisy, the third heat, wait her third heat, but she hasn't even came in her first heat yet, and she's already about to be 8 months here in a day or two. What's today's date? Today is the 7th, so tomorrow she'll be 8 months. So she hasn't even came in her first heat. So if she's gonna be one of those dogs where it's like every 10 months, something like that, or every 10 months, then then maybe after the second heat you can breed her if you decide to. Well, knowledge litters, for example, AC. I think it's a good thing. Now structure is just the right thing to do, in my opinion. I mean, things happen a lot where dogs get breakdown. You know, and to be honest with you, I don't buy that part. Action. The dogs come in the heat. Not only start the heat, they bleed. They show signs of heat. Uh, female, she shows signs that she's going to heat. She's going to swell and she's going to bleed. You know, not all of them are the same. They bleed different amounts of blood. But one thing for sure, they swell up. Their private area swells up. So you can't deny that. You know what I'm saying? But my point to what I was saying was they go into heat. They're usually in heat like 7 days, maybe even 10 days. And then at some point now they're receptible. They'll be willing to breed because just like wild animals, they're going to breed. You know, they're going to mate. That's just part of their get down. That's part of who they are. They're going to breed. That's just, passing on their genes. That's what they do. You know, they still got, even though they're domesticated, they still come from wild animals. They're still descendants of wolves, right? So you have that window, that weak window, we'll say, where they're in heat, but they're not willing to breed. Let a boy get on them, right? They'll usually turn around, snap at them. You know, they'll get a little crazy. Whatever it takes to get that male away from them, as far as trying to do any of that. And then at some point they're in heat where they're like I said, they're receptive. You know what I mean? They'll let the boy mount them. You know, all that. And then you got another, and then that'll usually be anywhere from 5 days to another week. And then it's usually another 7 to 10 days going out of the heat where they're not receptible again, and they'll snap on the male. They won't allow the male to get on them and mount them. But what's going on with the bullies is a lot of artificial insemination, AIs. There's a lot of C-sections to deliver the puppies. So when I first started hearing about all the AIs and the artificial inseminations, which is AIs, and then you got the TCIs. That's basically when the cervix closes, you got to use a certain instrument. There's another procedure to go in there and basically force your way into the cervix, that passage, to put the semen through. You know what I mean? The juice, or what do you want to call it? And so that's another way to do it. But when I heard the C-section word, I thought of bulldogs right away, English bulldogs, because I've always remember growing up as a kid, hearing that, they usually have 2 puppies, maybe 3 puppies, and they got to be delivered through C-section. So that just tells me that, a lot of these bullies, different categories of bullies have strong bulldog presence in their bloodline. You know what I mean? Amongst other things. But yeah, that's what it definitely told me. Because I used to always, I don't know if you guys heard me say this before, but I was very into dogs as a kid. I used to study about them a lot. And so I remember, that information. When it comes to the different bullies, you got, like I was mentioning earlier, you got nanos. Those are like really small ones. Micros, exotics, pockets, standards. So basically, a standard and a classic are pretty much, in my opinion, pretty much like the original American Pit Bull Terriers and Staffordshire Terriers, what people would call pit bulls, right? Because people call these bullies pit bulls, and they're not really. You got to educate them and let them know. Well, yeah, they're not technically pit bulls. They're American bullies. They're crossed. Majority of their blood is pit bull, but they're mixed with a few other different things on that last anywhere from 10% to 30%. They're mixed with American bulldog, just a whole bunch of different things. You know what I mean? So, but the case is when it comes to the smaller ones, it takes different dogs to create those dogs back in the day. And same thing with them when you do their DNA test. It's probably going to come back. Some pug in there, some Boston Terrier, probably. Some I don't know. Maybe if they use Frenchies too somewhere down the line, because there's been a few times where I think the dog's the Frenchie and it's the bully. So they have that same look, the face. So I don't know if they've used Frenchie somewhere too in the bloodline with some of the smaller exotics. And there's probably a few other breeds that I'm not think of right now that help make the exotic bullies. You know what I mean? But definitely the XL ones, you got, like I mentioned a minute ago, you got American Bulldog, you got Boerboel, you got Cane Corso, Presa Canario. You got Massive, Bull Massive, Neapolitan Massive. Um, I even believe Rottweiler is somewhere in there too, because the colors you get the black tries and the chocolate tries. Those are Rottweiler and Doberman colors. You know what I mean? Um, they're real. When it comes to bullies, in my so well, not only in my opinion, but you see it from what the people are pricing their dogs. If you have a Merle, a Merle puppy goes automatically for. So, for example, let me explain what I mean. So, if you have a litter of puppies, right, and you're selling your males for say 2,500, and you're selling your females for 3,500. Okay, now you have also in that litter you have some Merles. Usually, what happens is 1,000 will go up on the price. So, if you're selling your males originally for 2,500, and now you have some Merles in the litter, now you can ask 3,500, and those females that you're asking 3,500, you have say one Merle or two females, you can add another 1,000 on the price. That's usually what I see going on. Also, if you have a tri litter, tri meaning three colors. So you got a black tri. If you guys are not aware of that, that's the black dog with the they call it tan points on like the eyebrows. I call it rust color, and then white. And then you got the blue tries, which are blue, tan points, which I call rust, and the white. Then you got the chocolate tries, which I call chocolate brown with the rust colors and the white. Then you got lilac tri, which in my opinion, lilac is like a mixture between brown and gray. In my opinion, it looks a little shiny. It's got like a little silk look to it, in my opinion. And then you have, there's some other colors too that there's out there that I'm not real aware of, that I'm still learning as well. Back when I was a kid, they only had, Stiffy, what's going on? They only had, back in the day, you had the brindle, you had the brindle, which some people call it tiger stripe, which normally would be the brown color with the black stripes. But I've seen red brindles, I've seen blue brindles, I've seen different ones now. But back in the day, when I was a youngster, there was brindles. You had black pit bulls. You had black and white. Then you had the chocolate, which usually they'd have some white on them. And then you had the red coat. That was pretty much it when I was a kid. Then a few years after that, maybe 5 years, 10 years tops, you've seen the blue noses come out, where their noses were blue and then their coats were gray, real gray. You had those. And then the word bully, as far as I was concerned, bullies were only those small ones, like a pocket and smaller. But then this is something I learned fairly recently, maybe in the last year or so, that bullies come in all these different sizes, So, like I said, the original pit bulls and Staffordshire Terriers, a male is like top 60 pounds, and a female is like 45, 50 pounds tops. You know what I mean? So if I look back on some of the dogs I had over the years, they were XLs. They were, a Rojo, for example, was anywhere from like 78 pounds to 84 pounds, 86 pounds, depending if it was the winter or the summer. And his dad was like 130, 40 pound boy, male, and his mom was only like 25 pounds. And, he never thought, the guy that owned him was named Zach. He never thought that would happen, that Chopper would get Diva pregnant, but it happened, and I got a puppy out of it, which was Rojo. I tell the story before. Originally, he offered me, he said, I'm going to give you the biggest puppy in the litter. And then after they were born, he switched up on me like maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks after their birth, which I'm glad he did, because the dog that I ended up getting looked way better than the original one that he was going to give me. He was longer, taller. His head looked better than the brother. And he honestly looked more like the father than the brother did. And the reason why I say that is because he named the brother Chopper Jr. CJ, and my dog, and then Roll. Originally, he told me that they're going to be born. They're going to be born like blonde, like Ric Flair's hair, which they were, and that the older they got, the more redder they're going to get. Now that wasn't the case for all the puppies. They all did redden up more than when they were originally born, because when they were born, they were bleach blonde. So I just went ahead and named my dog Rojo, which means red, but he didn't get that red. He stood more on the blonde side. The brother got a little more redder, but the sister that he kept got really red. Still not quite like the father, because what threw off the breeding was the mother was chocolate, the father was red, the mother was chocolate. So if the mother would have been red too, then the puppies would have come out, and grown into the red body like the father had. You know what I mean? But that wasn't the case, because, like I said, the mother was chocolate, so they called that chocolate red devil. I don't even know how true that was, because the red devil is actually a bloodline. Bryant's red devil. You know what I mean? So I don't know how true that is. Now looking into some other things and researching some things, I'm not sure if that really, if the father of Roll, which his name Chopper, was actually a red devil, a red-nosed red devil. You know what I mean? I don't know, because he was a real big ass dog, double X, 140 pounds. He had to have been at least 23 inches tall. But he was a big ass dog, you know what I mean? And so, the red-nosed red devils, the Bryant's red devils, were, the original pit bull terriers. And I believe that they came originally from Scotland or Ireland, if I remember correctly. I think those ones are called the old Irish Reds, I think they're called, or something like that. And they were more of the, the original size pit bull terriers, but cut up but skinny, you know what I mean? So yeah, let's see what we got in the chat saying. You're absolutely correct. That's how they try to make them small, to put the franchise involving them. When your dog come out, Merle color, exotic with, yeah. And then a lot of people say too, the Merle is not a color, it's a pattern. See Lou, she's all gray with a little white under the chest. So, okay, so she's gray like Daisy then, right? Daisy got white under the chest too. Let's see, with a little beige. Yeah. Yeah, so those dogs are more two-tone, the white. Usually most of the, pit bulls now, the bullies got white in them. You know what I mean? They usually have whatever majority of the color is, but some white. You know what I mean? So Daisy's, she's gray with the white on her face, head, and chest, and her feet. Champ, on the other hand, is majority stable, but he has some white on his chest, not too much, but he also has some ticking on his chest. Ticking means when the dog has like darker color, like spots, like little, not really so much spots, more like sprinkles, I guess you can call it. And his dad, Bubba, is a tri-chocolate. He had a lot of spots ticking on his chest, so he got a little bit of that. But he's majority red sable, and then with the brownish red sable with the black mask. That's what sold me on him, with the black mask. His color and then the black mask. You don't see that too often. It's a rare color. You know what I mean? But any brown, pretty much with white down their head, down their face, or let me rephrase that: white on their head and that goes down their face, either or. I'm usually sold on those. I dig those colors a lot. So you're talking anything from like a blondish color up until chocolate brown to a reddish chocolate. I don't know if that you would consider that a mocha. I mean, not a mocha, but a cocoa color. So yeah, that's what I like. You know what I mean? I like that. Like I said, I got something in the works, which I call a power play. That's the Merle. Got some kennel partnership on it, if it works out right. And then what I might end up doing, because this one is related to Daisy and Champ as well, but it's Daisy's mother's littermate sister. I might just bypass breeding Daisy at all and just use her. And then her final breeding, because she's already been bred twice. Her final breeding, taking Champ to her. Keeping it, try to tighten up on the blood that they share, because that was already the plan with Daisy and Champ to tighten up the blood that they share. You know what I mean? So now, if you Merle female, she's one generation closer than Daisy. You feel me? Follow me, because her father is her father, which is Daisy's grandfather, which you've heard me bring him up a few times. His name's Ochata. Very, very, I would consider him a legend because of what he's produced, but he didn't live that long. He was unfortunately poisoned or something. But he has two sons that are considered honorary legends of the game of Boogie. That's none other than Big Woodland and Becos from Scorpion Kennels. And they proved to be, so they're producers of a producer, and now they prove that they produce as well. And now their kids are producing, such as Beach, Clay. There's a lot of other ones out there, and good, nice looking daughters too. So we might just bypass breeding Daisy, because at the end of the day, Daisy's more of the family dog. She's already damn, this road sucks. She's already down as a EPA animal, EPA dog, emotional support animal. She's already got her certificate and all that. So we might just get a breeder. Because I'll be honest, depending on what the dog and all that, some of the females bounce back pretty good after being pregnant. Not once, but like on the third, fourth litters. You know what I mean? But then there's some dogs that just never bounce back, and they're dragging their kids around. You know what I mean? I don't like that look too much. You know what I mean? Therefore, maybe just breed. If anything, the original plan was to breed her twice, Daisy, and then I kind of switched up and said just once, unless the puppies didn't come out the way I wanted them or something like that. And then we would try to take her to a different male. That's what it could have been. And then after that second breeding, stop. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Still got a long time to wait. Their dogs look bigger than mine, and yours are not even a year old. I think I have more of a standard. Yeah, but you gotta, like I said, Michael, you gotta measure. Get the tape measure and measure her from the ground. Put the tape measure to the ground, and then pull it out, and then measure up to the shoulders, basically. But the withers are the withers are the part that's right behind the shoulders. It's like a little meat or bone that sticks out. That's the withers. And it's real easy to find out. All you gotta do is, like I said, measure her and then go from there. And then if she's 17, 18 inches tall, then you'll determine if she's a standard or a classic. And I don't know how she looks as far as I don't know how she looks as far as her weight, because standard and classic are the same height wise. The only difference is the width, the weight. Standard will be heavier than a classic. I went too far. Yeah, I did. Shit, that was my exit. Dang it. That's not good. That's not good. Let's see, I gotta get back in the freeway real quick. So yeah, you got to measure. Yeah, do that. Yeah, let me know after you measure, and then I can tell you more. And then also wear too, or let me see. Yeah, wear, and then we can go from there. 680 south. Yeah, I want to go 680 north. I think I passed by like 2 exits. Yeah, I got so caught up laughing away with y'all that I missed the exit. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. So it's over there. No, that takes it back to the south. Yeah, I gotta find north. 680 north. Give me 1 second, people. This way. Punch in a. I'll make it easier. Punch in 1120. Huh? 1120. Berryessa. BERRY. I think I'm going the right way. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap out. Well, let me see. Yeah. So. Huh? You can start. Okay, what does it tell me to do there? Okay. Yeah. Once I get on the freeway, you can turn that off because I know. Okay. So yeah, yeah. So Daisy will be 8 months tomorrow, and I've mentioned this before. After she hit 6 months, she started filling out. She started getting thick. Her neck, her shoulders. You can see some of the poses. You can see where her muscles are at on her shoulders and stuff. She's currently, well, the last time I weighed her was a while back. She was like 64 pounds, which has been well over like about a month and a half now. Last time I measured her head and neck, and her height was about a month ago. Yeah, I got it. So she was like 18 inches tall, 18 and a half inches tall. She had a 19-inch neck and a 20.5-inch head, and she was 64 pounds. So now, she's clearly heavier than that because when I gave her a bath the other day, I had to pick her up to put her in the bathtub at the groomer place. It was very, I mean, I could feel a difference in her. So I'm thinking she's about 70, 75 now. Plus, she looks a lot more stockier than before. You know what I mean? So I think my prediction on her is she's going to have between a 22 and a 24-inch head. Her neck will be about 20 or 22 inches. I believe she's going to be 100 pounds. And then I believe she's going to be about 20, 21 inches tall. And Champ, on the other hand, he's in that lanky stage. You know, Daisy, like I said, I didn't have to go through that with her. But Champ's in that lanky stage. And also, you get your dog from the breeder. You know, when the breeder tells you, trust the blood, just trust what they're telling you because, they've been there, done that. They know what's going on. You know what I mean? It'll help a lot more if they can show you any pictures that they might have of other males that maybe from that same female, they can show you, but I've seen pictures of Champ's brothers from different litters. I've seen 3 or 4 of his brothers from 3 or 4, no, excuse me. I've seen 3 or 4 of his brothers from 3 different litters because he's from the 4th litter, the last litter of the mother. And no matter what male that they bred his mother to, she throws out big sons. I mean, there's one son named Magnum. He's like 30 inches tall with a 30-inch head, and he's like 190 pounds. He's huge. And then there's another brother. He's like 16 months old. Chief, his name's Chief, and he's like 27 inches tall with like a 27 and a half inch head. and he's like 160 pounds. So there's some big sons. So his dad on the other hand was a little bit shorter, only 22 inches tall, but 26-inch head, 120 pounds, and his neck is like as big as his head. And he's got that shorter back. His Champ's mom is 25 inches tall with a 26-inch head, and she's like 140 pounds. So and like I said, she's the game changer in my opinion. Even though the fathers, the males that they bred her to were pretty big dogs, I believe that her DNA is what puts the twist on the puppies. That's what I believe. Yeah, 190 pounds. One of his brothers. It's like I said, it's a different litter, a different father too, but nonetheless, I believe the mom is what makes them big like that. That's my opinion. It can't. You can when it comes to the DNA. They call that genotype. And the DNA, the phenotype is what you actually see on the dog. The colors of the eyes, the nose, the coat, all that, right? But they'll say like this, like if you got a Merle dog, no matter if it's a male or female, 50% chance your puppies are going to come out Merle. So if you have 10 puppies, 5 of them will be Merle. But there's no law that says that for sure. You could have 10 puppies and 8 of them could be Merle. Only 2 of them could be Merle, or 5. So it just depends because of the phenotype of what you see the dog doesn't mean that that's what the gene it carries. You know what I'm saying? Now, I've done DNA. I've done the DNA on Daisy already, but I haven't did it on Champ yet. And that consists of they said that her puppies, or not her puppies, but she carries the dark colored genes of gray, black, and cocoa, which is brown. She doesn't carry the Merle gene. Her grandfather's Merle, but she does carry a diluted gene, which is, so I believe, if I remember correctly, the Merle is two double D, uppercase D's. She carries a thing that's called a diluted gene, which are 2 lowercase D's, which is like something to do with the pigmentation. Where you can see, like on her, you can see pink on her, like on her mouth, underneath her jaw, you can see the pink color. And then you can see the spots. She has some spots on her head. They're like Dalmatian spots. And I think that has something to do with that pigmentation. And so she carries that gene. And what it says too is that whatever color she throws or she carries, that it'll be lighter. So when it comes to like the lighter, it'll be lighter gray, lighter brown, lighter, like a reddish color. You know what I mean? See, my dogs were light blue, then went dark. Yeah, see? And then too, you got, when it comes to the blue dogs, you got the blue fawns too. And when you hear blue, it's gray. Basically means gray. You know what I mean? It's gray. But you'll hear people say blue. So one of Daisy's name is Daisy. I call her Daisy. Originally, her name was Daisy La Azula, Daisy the Blue. But she came out. She started changing brown a lot on her ears and stuff. So I named her. So her second name is Daisy Queen, like Dairy Queen, but I put a little twist on it, Daisy Queen. So all right, people, I'm at work now. I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping in, and be safe out there today, Friday. Always be aware of your surroundings and be aware. All right, people. Thanks again, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping in, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys that will stop in and watch it later. That being said, Big Lou, Little Lou, Daisy, Champ, tapping out.